Hey, what's up, guys? Alright, so today I'm going to be reviewing a recent hardcover that just came out. I got it in the mail the other day and I finally had time to sit down and finish it up. I really enjoyed it. Of course, I'm talking about Daredevil End of Days. This is the final story, according to Bendis, of what would happen with Daredevil in his last few days and his last few years, things like that. Um, First of all, the first thing you're going to notice is that it does come with a dust jacket right there. It's not a bad looking dust jacket, but you take the dust jacket off, you get this, which I have no idea why Marvel in the first place would want to cover something like this up, because this looks fantastic. This is probably some of the best hardcover artwork I've seen in a while, man. This looks great. I love the painted on style that's got on here. It looks really good. Glued on binding. Right, so first thing, production wise, this very sturdy hardcover. You're getting a lot of bang for your buck. It's you can get it off Amazon for about 20 bucks, which is far better than picking it up for 30. But yeah, it comes with some sketches in the back. It comes with some artwork, some of Bendis' scripts. If you know anything about Daredevil and who is closing out this run, because supposedly this is the end of Daredevil, this is his last story. We'll get into that later. This is done by Bendis, Maleev, and a few of his other co-workers. So if you ever read Bendis' run on Daredevil, it's fantastic. If you've never read it, then what are you doing? Go pick it up. It is great. It is a seminal run. It's probably the best thing that Bendis has ever written, and in my opinion, this is just my opinion, it's probably the best thing he has written since. He hasn't really done anything for me that's topped what he did with the character Daredevil. It was really a few characters. If you know anything about Daredevil, it was really a few characters. It was really a few authors. Cut my tongue. It was really a few authors that really brought Daredevil into one of the more popular characters that he is today. One of those authors was, of course, Frank Miller. Then there was a few authors in between a lot of those years, but then Bendis came in and he really reinvented the character for this generation. And then Brubaker followed that with another great run, because a lot of people I don't think give Brubaker the credit he deserves, because Bendis put him in such a tight spot for that time of where the character was, that for Brubaker to come and go, okay, yeah, I'll take the character over and I'll definitely work with him and I'll figure out what to do next, was just incredible for me. Right now, Wade is killing it on the character, and I personally think that out of everybody that's had the character, and I know this is going to be blasphemous for all you Frank Miller lovers out there, I think Wade is doing probably the best job that I've read with the character, because I just like the tone that he takes with it. Daredevil's been up and down. It's been so dark and gritty that I think Wade took the character in such a great direction. But back on topic, the hardcover. So what you have here is essentially Bendis, the author Brian Michael Bendis, decided to tell to tell Daredevil's last story. To go in and say, I think this is how Daredevil's last days would end. Hence the title, Daredevil End of Days. So he teamed up with his old artist, Alex Maleev, and a few other guys, and they wrote this story out last year, and the hardcover finally came out. The story itself is okay. It's not the best thing Bendis has written. I think that, me personally, with my love for the character and having really an astute fondness for what Bendis did back then, I had a lot of hype going into this, and that probably has a lot of factor into my review. But overall, I think the story is just fine. It's it's a very different tonal shift. If you've been reading what Wade has been doing with the character lately, you're gonna get it caught me off guard. But when I first started reading it, I'm like, oh, okay, I have to shift my perspective onto this side of the character again, because if you've been reading Wade's character, Wade's take on the character, then you know it's not as dark and gritty as it was. It's more fun and it's more action based. This is dark. Like in the first few pages, you see Daredevil get the crap kicked out of him to the point where he dies. This is literally in the first 2 pages, so don't get mad at me. And then his last few words were Maypone. And everybody's going, well, what's Maypone, what's Maypone, to the point where Ben Urich becomes obsessed, and he keeps going, well, I have to figure this out, because at this point in time, Daredevil shows up to fight Bullseye, and Bullseye's the one that does him in. However, before that, Daredevil was missing for like 5 to 10 years, and nobody knows what happened to him. He just fell off the earth, and it explains what did happen to him, but I'm not going to get rid of that, because that's really spoiler territory, and you guys would hate me for it. I don't want that. But overall, I think the story was just fine. It works good for what it is. I think it's a bit predictable though. Bendis telegraphs his cards so early on. I was going, oh, come on. I see where you're going with this. This is going to lead to this. This character is this, and this. And it's not a bad story, but I think it's just a bit too predictable for my taste. And if you aren't paying as much attention to the story as, you know, if you're not as paying a lot of attention to it, then you probably will come out of it going, wow, I didn't see that coming. But overall, it's a great story, and I would have to say probably I'd give it like 8.5 out of 10 if I have to say anything. And I know that's heresy because to a lot of people it was one of the best things that came out this year. But I think, like I said earlier, based upon my past with the character and based upon what Bendis did earlier with the character, I came in with a lot of hype with this. So I think that has a lot to do with it. The art in this, though, is fantastic. I really have to give this credit to where credit is due. I thought the art was beautiful in this. It's really top-notch stuff. Everybody brought their A-game art-wise on this. And if you were really into Bendis' run and you're not really into Waid's run, then I think this is a perfect closer for that run, for that dark and gritty time period that, you know, Bendis wrote that, then Brubaker, then you could jump onto this, and it's a logical conclusion to what happened. The thing is, like I was saying earlier, it's a very dark tonal shift, and Bendis says this is canon. When I was reading it, I kind of just took it as, okay, well, what Waid is doing is so different than this, and, you know, Daredevil has pretty much dealt with his depression in Waid's run, that to go back to this, I'm kind of taking it as like an 8-issue what-if mini-story. So, bear that in mind. You could take it either way. It was a bit of a jarring transition for me when I first started it. Overall, though, like I said, great pickup. If you want to pick it up for 20 bucks, it's a beautiful hardcover. Can't recommend it enough. Comment, subscribe, let me know what you think. Bye.